VIX index. It's not as high as what we saw many years ago when it was at level 15.
I don't think there's a meltdown because I study charts every day. Every day I study charts. So long-term view is an amalgam, is the accumulation of short-term trades. Long-term view is an amalgam, accumulation of short-term trades. Without the short-term traders moving up the price, there is no long-term view. You agree with me, guys? So next 12 years, next 12 months, next year, I think if there's any correction, it won't be severe. But I don't think there's going to be a meltdown in the market because I think if I look at the charts, based on my years of experience, most of them has already hit the bottom. But there might be volatility, of course.
Watch out for volatility. So that's
also that I want to mention something a little bit that just now I show some data about some share. You look at their P/E ratio, you look at their yield, it's quite attractive. Attractive means that they will have some long-term investor. They really buy and hold. If all these guys buy and hold, who is going to sell? Those speculators, those who short the market, the volume is not too big, no? And if the volume is small, meltdown is impossible. Meltdown means that some people who really sell the big volume. Yeah, but now the yield and the P ratio is quite attractive. It's more than enough to attract some people who buy and hold.
Something to look out for local banks on the SGX. Let's have the third question for the panel. How does dividend or ex-dividend dates affect DLC? So for Keith, so two things I think. Dividends and then the ex-dividend date. Yes. So very good question, thanks for asking that. Everyone wants to ask this as well. So first of all, like as everyone knows, like during an ex-div, when the stock goes ex-div, right, you open down with the dividend level, right? Because the investors got a dividend payout. Now, for DLC, the first thing is simple answer is this: it doesn't get affected by any ex-div adjustments. Okay, so if the ex-div causes the stock to go down, let's say $1, right? Then you see that the return is down X% because of this $1 change. But because there's this ex-div and it's known to the market, right? It's known in the public, so we won't take that into account when we look at the return, that day's return. So we take that out. Okay, so if the stock is end up flat, okay, so but because we will treat the stock actually is up $1. Okay, so the long will go up 5 times and the short will come down. So don't worry too much about the dividend. So DLC will not give out dividends, okay, but it will not be affected by the dividend adjustment as well. And I know a lot of investors, some investors look for yield. When they trade, they look for dividend. Okay, but DLC is not something that you get any dividend. It's more a short-term trading instrument. But yes, the short answer is no, it won't have any effect. So DLCs are instruments that's tracking the underlying stock, so it's not going to give you dividends, and it's adjusted for ex-div as well. Let's have the next question from the floor. What happens when DLC expires? So this is for you as well.
I can answer this very quickly. So, firstly, when DLC expires, the last day of trading, let's say, the last day of trading, you always look at, again, the previous day, underlying, times 5. And let's say the DLC closed at $1, then we cash settle, you get $1 back. That's it, okay? So, I know a lot of people ask this question because they're also thinking about warrants. Because a warrant, if it's an out-of-money option at expiry, is always worth 0. Okay, 0. But for DLC, there's no time decay. It's not about option. It's not an option. Okay, so when it expires, it doesn't have to go to 0, right? It depends on the one-day move and how it closed. That closing value will be cash settled in cash to your account.
Right. So we saw on the chart just now, November 2021. So if you hold on until that date, people settle in cash.
So please don't buy today and hold until that day. Again, like DLC is a short-term trading instrument, right? Never hold it for a long period of time because there's a certain compounding effect.
All right, let's have the next question. Okay, this one's a long one. There was some talks of an impending market crash. Do you foresee happening in the coming year or two due to the level of debt, especially in China? I think we are hearing about
all the sovereign debt crisis, or rather the household debt crisis that people are talking about. Could this be a possibility, and could we see some black swan events? So Dr. Chan, from your years of experience, we've been having a lot of cheap money, low interest rates for a long time. Many governments have been borrowing, corporates borrowing. We saw what happened in Turkey. Some of them are struggling right now to repay. Do you see something similar happening elsewhere, maybe even China, in China?